Guys, welcome back. So this is probably the fourth time I've made this video. I keep doing some stupid thing and I'm like, oh Gordon, what the hell are you doing? And starting over. So I'm probably gonna forget some stuff and have to go over again. My sweet RPF cup. Thank you, Art Andrews, if you ever watch these videos. I love this cup. It's very nice. So this morning's update is I have a new part for the Death Star droid. And that is the shin. I am just about to start printing the thigh. I have to work out one last issue. I'm having an issue with a certain function in the 3D program doing what it's supposed to do properly. And once I get that sorted, I can start printing this. Hopefully within the next hour or two, I'll get it started. And it'll be done tomorrow sometime, so that would be really good. I'll have one full leg complete. Now, this leg is kind of the beta version. There are some things I would like to change. However, so far this does work properly, and I didn't do anything drastically wrong. I think it's more preference stuff now with fitment and so forth, and I'll explain that in a little bit. Oh, I gotta show you guys this. So it does have the side discs on the knees, if you guys were wondering. This is, I printed them in halves and they glue together. You get the general idea. But from the front, I'll show you. So you can see it does have the little discs and widens the knee a little bit, so it's the proper width. This is the correct width. Now, when I modeled these, I have very good 3PO reference to work from, and the legs on this droid are clearly related to C-3PO's legs. I would, if I had to guess, and I may actually, I know somebody I could contact that would actually know this, that worked on 3PO, that I'm going to find out what the order was, but if I had to guess right now, I would say that the legs on the Death Star droid, the RA-7 droid, are a precursor to C-3PO's legs because they share a lot of the same shapes and size issues and things, but there's some aspects that are very, very rudimentary that look like they've been cleaned up a lot before they were turned into C-3PO. I just did this thing. I thought he was back here. So I'm trying to keep that, you know, sort of worked out, where I'm trying to keep some of the stuff in there so it looks the same, but I'm fixing some things. So there's stuff that looks like they just rushed and finished it. Now, you know, in A New Hope, you only see the droid on screen for like a second, so they had no need to make it perfect. I don't know what the amount you're going to see this in Rogue One is. It might just be a background character, or it may be, hopefully, it's a character. I don't know. But either way, I'm excited to get this done. I'm going to make the legs basically symmetrical on this, on my version. So anyway, back to this whole thing. This is a beta version of the leg. Anybody who's built a C-3PO suit, which is probably not most of you, when I started this channel, when I started posting to this channel, most of my content was related to building this suit here. And the few people, like all 7 of you that followed me, were also building the droid. And you guys know, you 7, the rest of you don't know this, but you're going to know right now. There are some major asymmetry issues on 3PO's legs. Mainly that the right leg is skinnier, like really skinny, compared to the left leg. And the left leg is a little wider, but it's a little bit shorter. Now, let's see how do I start this. So when I do 3PO, I'm actually like a little tiny bit tall. But my height discrepancy is all in my shins. So like from my knees to my head, all of my height is very, very good for that suit. But my length of my shins is really long, relatively speaking. So when I put the legs on for that, if I put the knees the right place, there's a gap at the bottom. So I fixed that in this version of this shin. Look at this falling apart. These are just held together with tape, obviously. I fixed that in this version. I modeled this to match this, but then I stretched the lower portion just a little bit so that it would fit me better. I think this is going to make the overall fit of the entire suit work better, just based on these parts. So in doing that, it took the already skinny leg and made it longer and skinnier by a little bit. If I'd used the wider leg, the midsection here would look probably less gangly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find all the stuff I want to change in this part, make my changes, and when I print the left leg, it will have the newly incorporated changes with the calf and the thigh, both. I'm going to work on them at the same time. So they'll be a little asymmetrical initially, but I may do a third round, fix everything, and then print kind of like the perfect set eventually. That's not My goal right now is just to get everything printed, at least so it's wearable, and then I'll decide what I can reprint based on time. So for these prints, I'm gonna hold this up. You can see all the lines here. I did this on a very fast setting for my printer so that I could get through this as quickly as possible. This still took close to 20 hours to print the parts for this calf. But what I'll be doing is I'll be coating it with this epoxy resin, which is, I talked about in a previous video. It's called XTC 3D. It's by Smooth On, and it's made to fill in all of these gaps. And it's epoxy, so it's going to be really strong. I think it's going to add a little bit of structural integrity and make sure that these don't come apart at any of these seams. I think that's going to help a lot. I'll be doing the inside and the outside. If you guys want, I will make a video while I do this for the first time, so you can just sort of see how it goes on. And I've had a couple people say, oh, the parts are so thin. Like, let me hold this up so you can see here. This is 2 millimeters thick. Now what's good about this is you can see it's got some flex to it. I think that the flex is going to actually add to the durability of the suit quite a bit, where if I made it thicker and it was a stiffer part, it would be more likely to break if it got hit as opposed to just bend. And you can see that, it's pretty flexible. And I like that, that's good. And it's really, really thin. Thinner than I can get with the fiberglass or any kind of material like that. It's almost like as thin as a vacuum form part, but it still has all the surface detail that I want, which is a really, really cool thing about 3D printing. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing all these parts. I got the arms sort of glued together. I'm going to be back with more updates for the legs, etc. I feel like I should address, a lot of people ask me for the files. Like, when are you going to post the 3D files? When are you going to put the files up? Can I have the files? Alright guys, so there was just a massive cut there in the video. That's because I just rambled for a really, really long time about my thoughts on 3D files and giving out files. I probably spent 7 minutes on that, and I should probably put that in another video. So, I'm back now with all this stuff. I'm going to make another video about 3D files, giving them out, the pluses and minuses of that, and why I will give out some files but not other ones, because some of them aren't going to make it on the internet. So anyway, I'll be back soon. See you guys in a bit.